Here is a walk-around video of George, the 1964 Giulia Ti Super race car, originally campaigned by the Brangle family, Al Brangle, back in the 60s. Has gone through a few hands and has since landed with our owner, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. He set out on a painstaking 40-year restoration of George to return him back to his former glory. George's original engine was unfortunately blown up, or specifically a bent rod in a Las Vegas race, and when George was finally obtained, he did not have his original engine or trans, just was a roller basically. So over the next 40 years, the project was to try to return George back to as close to in-period specific running gear as possible. Obviously, a lot of that Auto Delta stuff, most of it is in fact unobtainium stuff, just doesn't exist. It was either made just for the specific car that it went into. Very, very few actual spares still around. So we have a replacement 1967 super motor that was built and modified to just a tick better than original Auto Delta spec. We have a correct period transmission case with GTA gear ratios with OS Gicken gears. The owner was pretty particular about how he wanted George set back up again, because he intended to indeed campaign him in one way or another. Owner is a retired Formula Ford racer, had an illustrious racing career himself. He and his wife actually sometimes would share a car. So already got all that under his belt, lots of trophies, and essentially George was going to be a track slash autocross car, and that is how he was set up and built. So I think we've seen enough of the outside. I'll go ahead and start working us into the inside now. You'll see all the panel fit is just incredible. The body portion actually was started out in 1979 when George was obtained, and that carried through into the 80s. A lot of parts procurement, so there was a little bit of a layoff to put together things, and racing was still going on at the time. And then once the owner finally retired, he set back out to get George back together completely. George then, I believe in 2011, went to Basic Motorsports, just about all done like this, as you see, painted, and Basic Motorsports completed the mechanical portion of the restoration. Obviously bits would arrive here and there and get installed there. So that is pretty much the story of George. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, before he passed away, our owner was able to take George out a few times, but essentially he's got very, very few miles from the nut and bolt restoration. So you see the interior panels are still removed. As I said, the owner was really particularly wanting to track George, and that is essentially what he did. One time, but mostly just on the street, took it to an Alpha Club picnic. But you see the correct maroon and gray seats. You see a cage, full 5-point harnesses installed, both sides, and just some lap belts in the back. You see the flying buttress style correct seats. We do have the original steering wheel. The original steering wheel has been completely redone and is packed away. This is obviously set up for more sporty use, but you'll see the instrumentation is extremely accurate. We do have all of the panels, by the way, all of the interior panels, George's original floor mats, everything is tucked away, stored with the car. This is the correct Lexan non-roll down rear windows, very much like the TI Super came. You see there's no window mechanism here. And again, here is the back seat, again redone to correct original standard. And we'll come around here and I will get the trunk open, and you'll see how tidy it is in here. We've got the battery located in the back, spare tire. Obviously we have a tender, so George could always be ready to go. And here we have our fuel tank. Come up, and second cap in there. So everything completely redone, nothing left to chance. And you'll see everything fits well. Seals are all replaced. We have duplicate seals, everything. Owner bought everything he could get his hands on. So there are a lot of spares that come with George. And over here, so we've got a fire extinguisher installed. Dash. A better look at our instrumentation. And obviously, heart of George is under the hood. Come around, we'll pop it open. Go ahead and get his down there. And there you have it. So pretty stout, well set up. I believe we do have dyno test results showing George topped off more than 120 horsepower, which is pretty impressive because it came with 112 from the factory in Auto Delta spec. But you'll see aluminum racy bits, but everything done up to correct in period livery. Try to just give you a look around everything there, but Basic Motorsports obviously turns out some extremely high quality work, so nothing is left to chance here. And the original DCOE 45 14s are rebuilt, detailed, and hermetically sealed. These are also period correct Webers. They're 45 DC OE 9s, serial numbers, but suffice to say George gets up and goes. So, and here is George's number, 595-437. There's under the hood. And that should take care of our tour.